Hi, everyone. This is Anne Marie with the long story short, Tidbits from a Chief of Staff. Today, I'm especially excited to have my special guest, Will Fetzer, who is an IT service management professional. I know I've said a whole bunch in that sentence alone, but what we're going to learn about from Will is why this particular skill, this role is so crucial for leaders and executives as they triage the world and navigate as they're trying to do the work that they need to bring impact to their business. So, Will, welcome to the series. I'm excited to have you.
Thank you. Appreciate you letting me be here with you.
Love it. So, what I really want to talk to you about is the IT service management world. That sounds like a whole bunch. So, can you tell my audience what exactly is IT service management?
Well, I think the first place, knowing there's probably a wide range of individuals that are going to be viewing this, is that pretty much everyone, whether you're in your own home, residential, or in a company, is using some sort of information technology. Everything from your smartphone to your laptops, workstations, servers, and we use that technology to deliver a job, to deliver business value, or in the case of homes, entertainment or other services that your home needs. And so our society is super dependent on IT to get the job done. IT service management, there is the process wherein we give attention and we observe and we also work with to influence the use of IT technology to deliver the value wherever it's at. And so that is used again to procure in the take of a business value that the company needs to deliver.
Awesome. Thank you. So, one of the things that I'm trying to help my audience understand is as they are navigating a journey, being a chief of staff, or they're supporting executives, that we have a lot of different partners that we work with. And especially in the infrastructure world, again, IT service management is an important partner for us to work with. So, if you were to think of two things that would be key for anybody who is plugging into your world that they would need to be aware of, what would be those two things?
I would say maybe the first one would be that there's a lot of analytics, a lot of research that's done to determine process to deliver to the collective group when you're talking a business, and really a utilitarian approach, which means the solution will not likely fit 100% of use cases,
Right.
but the goal is to hit 80% being good enough and close enough to allow value. As we start to push beyond that 80% to try to get that last 20%,
Mhm.
the costs of implementing, refining that process generally will outweigh the value that's obtained. So I'd say the first one would be to focus on understanding that process is written in that utilitarian approach, and you're targeting the 80%. Um, the second one I would share is just the need for upstream downstream communications on strategy. I had an experience a little while back here where I'd had a CIO that I was presenting on some IT strategy, and I felt like I had just done my homework backwards and forwards, and I was presenting this content and giving um, my recommendation on what should occur for the company. And I was just amazed that this CIO came back and said, "Well, but you're overlooking this. Here's part of our high level strategy. Here's why we would do this, even though it doesn't look good from your perspective. There's some other value adds." And so I realized in that moment that although I kind of viewed at that time, the executive level as maybe being a little withdrawn, too high of a level, not in the trenches, I realized that I needed to listen more to the executives. The executives needed to listen more to me, and we needed to come together in the
Sure.
middle balance in order to deliver the optimal value for the company.
Gotcha. So what I'm getting from what you said, one is there needs to be an understanding of what is the vision, what is the strategy, and then I think you said this uh, kind of undercover, but you're prioritizing. to understand exactly what you're going after because you said you're going to be hitting 80%. We're not going after the 100. And in order to go towards the 80%, you're going to be presented with a series of initiatives or tasks, like you talked about processes, and you're going to want to optimize 80% of those things. So you will have to prioritize, pick and choose. And then the last point that you brought up, which I think is super key, is that conversation. It needs to be two-way. You're going to be sharing ideas and perspectives and recommendations. And on the other end, working with executives, they're going to be sharing ideas, perspectives, recommendation. You both want to be listening so you can arrive at a consensus as to what is the best path forward so you can hit that 80%, addressing what you need to, and then being able to hit against your objectives. Did I cover that kind of right?
Yeah, absolutely. Did a great job.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks, Will. I guess the last thing I wanted to ask you is, as you have had an immense career in this field, what is a gotcha that stands out to you that, man, if you had known earlier, you would have been more aware that my audience can go into this eyes wide open saying, I need to be aware of this gotcha.
Well, I think actually the two areas that I shared probably are pretty good gotchas as far as
Mm.
leadership at any level, making sure the communications are flowing up and down, that there's an alignment on that common vision, and I think just a respect and a communication, that would be probably the first part of it. The second being the 80%. You're never going to get perfect, and
Yeah.
you're going to diminish the returns real quickly passing that 80%. So you're going to go for close enough. And the last one that I'd kind of share is kind of a gotcha, maybe a three-way gotcha there is people. You cannot use people to grease the cogs in a
Ah.
company. You will undermine yourself and create anchors, as it were. You will not attract the right talent. You'll lose the energy and spirit of those that are involved if you are greasing the company with the labor that you have. And so I'd say that gotcha would be to fairly compensate, to be considerate not only of the company but of the employees, and to find a proper balance, and to help everyone feel like they're getting value out of the arrangement, and that it's not a one-sided arrangement. That would be the probably the third part of that gotcha.
I, I almost said gotcha. That makes sense because I think we need to be aware, especially in the last few years, people are bringing their entire selves, they're bringing their authentic selves. So we want to be mindful of the things that are important to the people that are doing the work, and we want them to feel like they have a vested interest, that they want to buy into that vision. So they don't show up and they are punching the proverbial clock, doing their 40 or 50 hours a week and going home, but that they're actually tied into, I believe in this work. I want it to be successful. And so I'm actually a part of the wheel moving this forward instead of just here I am today and I'm going home tomorrow. So I think that's what I was getting from you. Am I right?
Yep. Yep. I think you have a tendency to unlock the creative energy as well when you engage people. That if you've got them being greasing the cogs, as it were,
Hmm.
that creativity shuts down really quick because, as you described, they're punching the clock, which means they're giving just what they have to get just what you've promised, and you're not going to get any more, and that's going to limit your company's ability to move forward.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, I really appreciate your time. I appreciate the knowledge that you shared. And I'm glad that you were able to come on and share these tidbits with my team. Folks, this is Anne Marie, the long story short. I hope you're able to walk away with some nuggets from our guest, Will. So thank you again for showing up. And I will see you all online for the next episode. This is Long Story Short, signing out.
Thank you.